Hello, I'm Dr. Julie Gilbert. I am with Rachel. Hi, Rachel
Hey.
Matthews, and we have a special guest today, Kate. Pronounce your last name, Kate
Do so.
Dussault.
Yeah.
Yes, soon to be Dr. Dussault.
Yes. Ooh,
Yeah,
that has a
because
nice ring to it.
yeah, Dr.
Not to do
Dussault.
so.
Kate is a fourth year medical student who is rotating through our clinic this month. We are so excited when medical students come through. And anyway, I had asked Kate to join us today and tell us a little bit about her background. Interestingly, Kate has been a chef
Yeah.
before she went to medical school. So, Kate, tell us a little bit about you, about that time in your life.
Of course. So, kind of, I guess it wasn't the best start, but I went to college because I wanted to be a food scientist. I had two uncles that were food scientists in the terms of they made processed foods.
Okay,
And
yeah,
this
that's
was
interesting.
and I was really interested just in the science of food, and I love to cook at home. But I ended up
Mhm.
dropping out of college my first year, just wasn't quite right, and I knew that I still like to cook, so I decided to go to culinary school. And I actually went to culinary school for 18 months, so I have a degree in culinary arts.
Wow.
And yeah, and it was a really fun time for me. I first started working at a private event center and I catered to weddings, private events, and did really fancy meals. And I was kind of thrown into it. I was the executive chef, and I didn't have anybody else to help, so I'd be cooking these meals for 200 plus people all by
Wow.
myself, and hoping that everything turned out. And at that point, my employer was really interested in getting local organic food, and we became the first green restaurant in Austin, Texas.
Oh,
And that
cool.
means that we served only local organic foods. So that was kind of my initiation into kind of what healthy foods are and things of that nature. So I worked there for quite a while, but then the fun really started when I became a chef at a sorority house at UT Austin, so University of Texas. And I loved working there. I was there for about 6 years, and I would cook for the 50 women that lived in the house, and
Mhm.
then also cook for additional people that would come in and have dinners on Monday nights and then lunches on Friday. So lots of meals out of that kitchen. Um,
Yeah.
and, it was the girls' favorite food were these, chicken tenders and mac and cheese and
Of
things of that
course.
nature. But I tried at least once a week to introduce a new food to them. So
Oh, wow.
so I tried, we would introduce quinoa. None of them had quinoa before. We'd introduce a new vegetable or a new fruit, and we'd always have lots of fresh food for them available. But I really love cooking, and I got out of that and went back to school, and now I'm becoming a doctor, but I still love it. I still have people over and I cook for them all the time. And I think now, as I've learned more, and even just being on this rotation, I've learned even more what healthy food actually is. And,
Hmm.
you know, food is such a huge part of my life because that's what I did for a living for so long, but also just being able to interact with my family, it's always around food. We have holidays and it's always food. Food is what brings
Hmm.
us all together. So
Right.
it's been kind of interesting the last few years as I've learned more about medicine and how food is healing. Um,
Hmm.
what I
Right.
take away from that and bring to my family because I want them to be healthy. So
Right.
it's a great opportunity to bring in these healthy foods and talk about how food is medicine and food
Right.
is healing. So
Yeah.
it's been fun. I still love cooking, and I want to cook for you at some point, Dr.
Oh,
Gilbert.
I'm so excited to hear you say that. Yeah. So you said lots of really interesting things, Kate. You mentioned that your uncles, I'm kind of going way back to the beginning,
Yeah.
were food scientists,
Mhm.
food engineers, and
Yes.
that made me think about how, nothing against your uncles. I have some friends who've been in food science and food engineering, but over time, how our food system has become, and you mentioned the word processed or ultra processed, um, how we have kind of designed food to be hyper palatable, to be
Mm-hmm.
uh, craveable.
Mm.
They actually, maybe not your uncles, but we have a language around that. There's something called vanishing caloric density of a food, of an ultra processed food, where you're eating this, whatever it is, Cheeto or whatever this thing, there's just the right enough sugar, fat, and salt in these ultra processed foods that they start melting, just enough fat, and so they start melting in your mouth as soon as you put them in your mouth, so that you're not eating any calories. It's turning into air. And it's vanishing as soon as it hits your tongue. I was wondering, did you ever encounter anything like that in your studies, Kate?
I haven't, but
Uh-huh.
I do know that there is some magic ratio of everything,
Yeah.
that
Uh-huh.
things we're eating something that's from a bag or a box and it tastes really salty. But if you look on the back of the box and look at the ingredients, there's corn syrup or there's sugar. There's something that's a sweetener in there. So then they cover it up with even more salt. So we're getting that sugar that shouldn't have ever been in there, plus
Mm-hmm.
additional salt, just because it makes us crave it even more. There's
Right.
some balance that these food scientists figure out, and they have this special magic ratio to get us to
All
want it
right.
more and more.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think,
is a huge science. All these PhDs working on
right.
figuring that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something called the bliss point.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one where it's just enough sugar where your dopamine goes ding, 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 and your nucleus goes ding, 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 ding. And actually, I think, if I remember this correctly, that, they can see the PET scan light up in this certain area of the brain when people are eating just the right amount of sugar. You don't want it too sweet, but just the right amount. So anyway, that's fascinating, Kate. Oh, sorry, people. Sorry. But that's fascinating. And it's kind of also very fascinating that you chose not to go that route. You actually chose to go to study food itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And how to
actually, I
cook it.
would say that I was forced to go that route. I didn't quite do so well in college the first time, but
Mhm,
I'm kind of
mhm.
glad. I'm glad that my plans
Yeah.
got derailed,
Right.
because I think I'm on a much better path.
Yeah, a little more holistic path. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you learned how to cook food, and there's a whole science in that too, as far as combining tastes, real tastes, and savory and
Mhm.
spices and things like that. So actually, there's a whole new line of medicine
Culinary
that,
medicine.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Rachel, are you learning about that?
Yeah, I just did my initial certification in, they call it chef, and I can never remember what the CHEF stands for, but it's culinary health education something. I can't remember the F before, but it's, and so there's a 2-part training that I've done the first half, and I'm hoping to do the second half, but it really is the education of
Mm-hmm.
a new sort of field of medicine that they're calling culinary medicine, where there's culinary training and culinary education, but then there's the piece that's lifestyle medicine based, like
Right.
it's one thing to learn how to, do you know how to fry up some onions, right? But then it's another thing to understand, do you know how to food prep that will work for your family? And did you know, if you're going to cook a little bit of quinoa, cook all the quinoa, save yourself the trouble, and then batch it out in the freezer into portions, right?
Oh,
Because it takes the same amount of time to cook a whole bag of quinoa as it does to cook 1 cup of it. So it's the different arts of building it into your lifestyle, which a lot of people, I think that art has been lost or never was developed.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And those are some of the skills that we're trying to impart and empower our patients here at Oregon Weight and Wellness. By the way, you can give us a call anytime, 971-273. I'm going to slow down, 971-273-7143. These are the kinds of conversations that we have here, maybe a little bit different than the usual conversations with your regular doctor. And we really dig in and talk about lifestyle. We talk about the barriers to, what's going on, and help you with that meal prep. And you know what my grand vision is, someday, is to have a teaching kitchen. And someday in the near future, bring people in, get them around a kitchen, and around the stovetop, and just really go through those things that, Kate, you're an expert in, and Rachel, you're learning all about, and really, I mean, that's really the nuts and bolts of it, right? We can talk all day long, but until we get in there and do it and experience that, hey, this isn't as hard as I thought, or gosh, I can cook it for a week or longer, and freeze it, and those kinds of things are really the helpful tools that people need. So and it's very exciting that we're doing that here. Speaking of cooking, Kate, what kind of things do you have in mind for us?
Please. Well, I would like to share something that some of your patients can do as well. And I think a lot of things that I've been hearing that patients say is that it's a time thing or convenience thing. So they grab whatever's the quickest. And sometimes that means the processed foods. So I think that we're going to come up with something that will be quick and easy, but healthier than a box of something that you grab at the grocery store, but just as quick, just as easy, and hopefully just as affordable as well. So showing you that it can be done helpfully.
Right. That's wonderful. Yeah. So Kate and I are going to put our heads together on that, and we're going to have a special edition of What's for Dinner, and actually cook What's for Dinner. And I think that's going to be coming up. What did we say, Kate?
Next week on the 23rd.
Next week on the 23rd. So it'll be closer to dinner time. Yes. So you'll be sure to join in with us for that. So, but having said that, we're going to go around, and Kate, why don't you share with us, busy medical student, studying all the time, and, slave driver to your preceptor. Tell us what's on your menu for dinner tonight.
So dinner tonight is actually a Thai chicken coconut milk curry.
Okay, that sounds complicated.
It is not. It is not. Onions, garlic, ginger, and then I throw in bell peppers as some of my vegetables and cabbage. Saute up some chicken in coconut oil, and then pour in a can of coconut milk, and then a couple of tablespoons of Thai red curry paste, and then just let it simmer. And it's done after all the chopping and cooking, it's done in about 30 minutes. So wow. I serve it with rice for my husband, and I don't eat the rice myself, but I put it on top of just some raw cabbage because I like the little crunch of raw cabbage, but it'd be great with cauliflower rice as well.
That sounds delicious. Rachel, how about you?
Yeah, so my husband and I have been just craving the big chopped salad. So we're going for a big giant salad. We hit the Trader Joe's yesterday and just loaded up on all the different veggies, and probably some chopped up tempeh in there, and probably some different seeds. And I like the cabbage. We have a cruciferous cabbage mix that they make at Trader Joe's. It's pre-cut the cabbage and the broccoli slaw and kale. And my kale in my garden is still beautiful from last summer. It's about 4 feet tall. So we're going to cut up a bunch of kale for the salad. I'm excited.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. How about you? What's for dinner? Uh-oh. Not sure yet.
Is that why we went first?
Yeah. You got me. So here we are. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm just like my patients. I mean, I haven't done any meal prep. I haven't thought about it. What I know I won't do, though, I will not go through a fast food on the way home. I will hit a grocery store on the way home. And now that I've heard what you said, I'm going to probably go through Trader Joe's, get that pre-cut salad that'll take a little prep time out, but it's still fresh. And usually then what I'll do is I'll do some I'll brown some grass finished hamburger. And I used to use a packet of spices, but I've learned that it wasn't so hard to put my own spices together. And so, yeah, with cumin and cayenne and maybe a little, I actually like a little cinnamon in there, chili pepper, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, can of tomatoes. And then I'll have a taco salad. So, but yeah. So that's what I'm going to do.
Something that you said that was so awesome from a coach's perspective that I want to point out. The language you used was what I will not do. And what you did there is you claimed your identity. And we talk a lot about this with the coach, the client, the patient, when they're doing one-on-one coaching with me, we talk about what's your identity, and they're taking on a new healthy identity, right? As part of this lifestyle that they're doing. And when we claim that, when we say, I will not do this, or I will. So it's almost better to rephrase it from the positive. So on your drive home, you're claiming, I will go to Trader Joe's and buy a pre-cut, right? And we're owning this identity of a healthy lifestyle. And that language right there was just, I know it's part of who you are. And that's a lot of what we talk about at Oregon Weight and Wellness too, is claiming that identity.
Right. Awesome. Great.
It's good stuff.
That's wonderful. Well, Kate, thank you so much for joining us today. And I can't wait. We'll announce it again next Monday because it'll be Tuesday that we do that. But I'll look forward to meeting with you again and doing our thing in the kitchen. Yeah. So cooking it up in the kitchen. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time on What's for Dinner.
Bye.
Bye-bye.